Good evening and welcome to the in-house debate. I am Oinitam Oja. Today is the 81st day and protests continue to rock Tezpur University, a central university in Assam. The standoff continues despite the visit of a very high-level central team. In fact, just on Saturday, Union Education Ministry's top officials, Secretary Vinit Joshi and Joint Secretary Soumya Gupta and another high-ranking official were in the university to address the grievances of the students, the teaching and the non-teaching staff, find a way out and put an end to the protests. But the central team failed to break the stalemate, and today the students decided to boycott the end-term exams. At the center of the unrest is Vice Chancellor Shambhunath Singh. His alleged controversial appointments, erratic governance, financial irregularities and prolonged absence from the university are said to have collectively driven the university into a state of institutional collapse. Well, viewers, the Tezpur University was imagined as one of independent India's most symbolic educational institutions. It's born out of the Assam Accord of 1985 and intended to embody the region's aspirations. But what we have now are protests, utter chaos and students' future at stake. Well, it is not just the Tezpur University that is having VC issues. Earlier, last year, we saw NEHU in turmoil because of its then Vice Chancellor Prabhakar Shankar Shukla. And before that, in 2023, we saw massive protests in Bodoland University, again in Assam, because of VC issues. So why the opposition to VCs? Why are seats of learning turning into protest zones? Is the government, the UGC, missing something while appointing the Vice Chancellors? Is there an issue with the selection process? How soon will the situation in the Tezpur University return to normal and students and teachers return to where they belong, the classrooms? I am joined by my colleagues Rashmi Bhuya Sharma and Ronak De, both senior anchors, to break down and understand the Tezpur University situation. And in fact, we will also be joined live from Tezpur by Dr. Pallavi Jha, Assistant Professor in the Department of English, Tezpur University, and Ananya Devi, student at the university. I would like to welcome Dr. Pallavi Jha and Ananya to the in-house debate. But before I go to Dr. Pallavi and Ananya, I would like to turn to my colleagues here in the studio. Rashmi, to you first. We definitely don't want universities to turn into protest zones, something like a battleground. We want our students to be in their classrooms. And here, Tezpur University, the protest has been going on for so long and there seems to be no end to it.
बिल्कुल 80 दिन पार हो चुका है अनितम, 80 दिन बहुत कम दिन नहीं है, 80 दिन लगातार प्रोटेस्ट हो रहा है वीसी के खिलाफ। सेंट्रल टीम भी आई, कुछ देर पहले आपने कहा सेंट्रल टीम भी आई, लेकिन सेंट्रल टीम को जिस तरह का एक ठोस एश्योरेंस देना था, शायद वो कहीं मिसिंग था, जिसकी वजह से जो प्रोटेस्ट है वो कंटिन्यू है। और जिस तरह के हालात है फ़िलहाल, जल्द इसका कोई समाधान होगा वो नज़र हमें नहीं आ रहा है। लेकिन हर बार इस तरह के प्रोटेस्ट क्यों, ये एक बड़ा सवाल है, और ख़ासकर वीसी के खिलाफ। अनितम, एक बहुत प्रभावशाली पद होता है वीसी, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन की बात करूँ, फाइनेंस की बात करूँ, या फिर जो अपॉइंटमेंट्स होते हैं, हर चीज़ का अधिकार होता है। लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं मुझे लगता है कि ट्रांसपेरेंसी की एक बहुत बड़ी कमी होती है, और यही एक वजह है कि हर बार जो वाइस चांसलर होता है उसके खिलाफ इस तरह के प्रोटेस्ट हमने देखे हैं, पहले नेहरू में भी, बोडोलैंड यूनिवर्सिटी में भी, और अब तेजपुर यूनिवर्सिटी में जो एक सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटी है वहाँ पे भी इस तरह का एक माहौल जो बहुत ही दुर्भाग्यजनक है। ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए था, लेकिन फिलहाल जो स्थिति है, सेंट्रल टीम के आने के बावजूद उन्हें एक ठोस एश्योरेंस नहीं मिला है, और अब ये टर्म एंड एग्जामिनेशन को भी बहिष्कार करने का ऐलान कर चुके हैं।
हाँ, Ronak, what is your understanding? You know, we have seen so many protests, we have been covering all of those, but coming to Tezpur University situation, we saw what had happened when the central team had come and they had given a handwritten note.
Right.
I mean, how does that, why this kind of a lax approach from the Union Education Ministry itself, and the person who was there, the secretary himself was there, and he's also the acting chairperson of the UGC. I mean, they are the people who are responsible for these universities, and Tezpur University happens to be a central university.
Unitam, I think, the officials from Delhi had to actually come down themselves to really gauge, how serious the situation is and how strongly, in fact, these students, the protesting students, feel about this. That is something that they only had to come down, and that is when they could actually gauge the sheer magnitude of how strongly they feel about this. And another thing, Unitam, that I've seen is, coming out as sort of a common factor amongst all these three recent protests that we have seen. You mentioned the protests at the Nehu, which happened late 24, and even earlier than that in 23, the protests against the VC at the Bodoland University. There seems to be a very common factor about allegations of lack of accountability. Even something which Rashmi, आपने भी जिस बात पे गौर किया, transparency की कमी ऐसा आरोप सामने आ रहा है. There seems to be a very very steadfast belief by the students, the protesting students, that there seems to be a lack of accountability as far as appointments are concerned, administrative decisions are taken, ये सब को लेके, and something that goes along with this, there can be a sort of emerging feeling among the students as well as the staff for that matter, because they have also supported the protest.
मुझे लगता है कि यहाँ पे एक एक्शन लेना बहुत ज़रूरी था, ताकि ये जो प्रोटेस्ट चल रहा है, जो स्टूडेंट्स प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे हैं, उनको लगता कि हाँ जो सरकार है या फिर जो बॉडी है वो हमारे साथ है. तो यहाँ पे एक कड़ा एक्शन लेना बहुत ज़रूरी था.
एक्चुअली, एंड इट सीम्स दैट जो ट्रस्ट डेफिसिट ऑलरेडी एग्जिस्ट कर रहा था, क्योंकि VC was missing in action for days together, and I believe currently he is somewhere in Delhi. Now, Kendriya Sarkar not acting on time, and these are students who are barely in their 20s. So what kind of a signal, is the government, is the UGC, what is the kind of signal they are sending out for these young minds?
Right, and also what this does, Onitam, is that, it gives, it sort of nurtures a sort of feeling that, there is no power, they've no power. They feel like there is a sort of too much of concentration of power taking place only in the hands of the VC. And when you have the VC, going on a prolonged absence for the longest time, while students are going on protesting, it fuels that feeling that, there is that the feeling of powerlessness, the feeling of helplessness, hopelessness when it comes to, very big decisions where the students expect transparency from the university
and when the VC himself is missing in action,
exactly,
everything in the university comes to a grinding halt.
Right.
Now, at this moment, I would like to bring in Dr. Pallavi Jha. She is Assistant Professor in the Department of English in Tezpur University. Dr. Pallavi, what exactly is the situation in the university at this point of time?
At this point of time, the students are still protesting, and they will continue to protest till the time we don't hear anything substantial that solves the crisis from the Ministry of Education. That is the stand that the students have taken as of now.
Okay, actually, if you can quickly...
in order to...
Please carry on.
Yeah. In order to understand the student-led movement, it's very important to understand the context in which it happened. The student-led movement began the day after our iconic heartthrob Zubin Garg passed away. And after he passed away, on the 20th, it's the apathy of the university admin which actually held student elections after repeated requests from the teachers and students' body to postpone the elections, because the whole state was in mourning. Over and above, because it was a weekend, there was no proper farewell that was bid to Zubin Garg, not a proper condolence meeting that was held in the university even after requests from students. Now, the VC was absent during this time, and when he returned, he made a very casual statement saying that this is a central university. Do not make things funny. Mm-hmm. And this statement really kind of put everybody on edge that what is this funny thing and what is this do not make things funny. He's a iconic star. He has passed away. The whole state is in mourning. Most of the universities have either delayed their elections or had suspended them for quite a significant amount of time. After this, you're coming up with a statement like this, and this really enraged the students. In fact, if you've seen the first few videos, we see that the teacher's body really tried to intervene and tried to, settle things down. But the university administration did not listen to the teacher's body as well. After that, as we started probing deeper into the what the students wanted and what the students were facing, we came across complaints that perhaps we had not heard before. Not one, not two. There were complaints regarding everything. And by then we realized that this is part of a larger malaise which has destroyed the university from within. It's a problem that is not just of a condolence meeting or of paying tribute to Zubin Garg. It's a larger systemic failure. And as more and more people started speaking up, that's when everybody started looking for answers as to what was happening within the university system. you know and as we delved, my God, there were more and more and more evidences of alleged corrupt practices in every single element of the university system, whether it was administrative, whether it was procurement of equipment and books, whether it was financial corruption, whether it is recruitment against cadres. It was unending. It just went on and on. And we realized that the corruption that went on amounted to crores and crores of rupees. And these were basic requirements for a university to function and do well, whether it is the procurement of books, whether it is procurement of instruments, whether procurement of elements for labs
Right.
and everything. It was everywhere. It was so widespread that we didn't know where to
Right.
stop.
Dr. Pallavi, I'm sure all of these findings were flagged before the central government, the UGC, also the education ministry.
Yes, they were. In fact, when all this started emerging and slowly and steadily the protest started growing, a team of teachers actually went and met the governor, who's also the chancellor to the university.
Yes.
And he constituted a committee, a fact finding committee, which came to the university, spoke to the various stakeholders, and there was if I'm not mistaken, a 450 page document with all the proof that was submitted to the fact-finding committee about the various levels at which the corruption was occurring. After which, a few days later, another team from the center had come,
Okay.
of which Mrs. Soumya Gupta was also a part of.
That's right. That's right. Yes. And then they had given the handwritten note, I believe, on Saturday. Dr. Pallavi,
No.
we will come back to
No,
you
no,
again.
this was this.
Yeah, we will definitely come
Sorry,
back to you. Let's
just
bring
a-
in Ananya here. Ananya, the students, first let's hear from you, the students' perspective, where is it hurting all of you the most?
Yes, hello.
Yes, Ananya, we can hear you.
Yeah. So as ma'am has already given a brief, you know,
I believe
context about how it started for all of us.
Ananya, I believe you are joining us from the protest site in the university.
I couldn't get you.
You
Can
are
please
joining us
repeat?
from the protest site, right?
Yes, I'm here sitting in the protest site. I'm
Yeah,
connecting from here.
right. Yes. Ananya, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as ma'am has already given a context about how it started for us. And I would like to directly get into the point that several fact-finding committees and vigilance committees and inquiry committees have visited our university to get the gist of what is going on. And during those visits, all the stakeholders, the non-teaching staff, the teaching faculties, and the students went and submitted documents that pointed out the allegations towards Shambhunath Singh, and also documents that suggested documents that were proof to all of those corruptions and irregularities. So even after that, when this recent visit by Vinit Joshi and Soumya Gupta ma'am, we were shocked to realize that for all of these 80 days, we were being ignored. Maybe we were probably being cast aside by thinking that this is a university in a corner of Northeast, so maybe we can just wait and watch and see the students tire down and exhaust themselves. But then we are not backing down. We have decided to boycott our exams until we get a formal official letter from the Ministry of Education suggesting that they have begun an inquiry against the allegations of Shambhunath Singh.
So the
students are adamant on that, adamant of receiving a resolution, because our time has value. We are students. Our time has value. So even after all that, when they have just given a casual note regarding inquiry and all that, we are adamant right now. We want a resolution as soon as possible.
So the way the entire situation is being handled, is it making all of you out there, making you all feel very left out, neglected, helpless and hopeless?
Yes, actually, that is what is happening, because we look forward to the government to hear our pleas. We look forward to the governor of Assam, who is the chancellor of our university. We look forward to the chief minister of Assam, who claims himself to be for the people, for the youth. He claims himself to invest his time and energy for the for the betterment of the youth. But then when it's about us, when it's about the students of Tejpur University, we are seeing that we are receiving a cold shoulder from everyone. And we're shocked to see that. Just yesterday, we heard that the Chief Minister of Assam has commented that he would not be where there is agitation, but he will be where there is discussion. For the last 79 days, there was nothing but discussions. We met him once. We tried to ask him for his intervention. We had discussions with a lot of people. But
Ananya, Tejpur
even
University,
after all of those...
Tejpur University is a central university, and therefore the
Exactly.
state has a very limited role to play here. It's directly under the central government and the UGC and
Yes.
under the law passed by the
Ministry of
Parliament.
Education. Yes, that we understand. But we should also understand that our university is a fruit of 855 people, the blood of 855 people. We are in Assam. So the guardian of Assam should also have a say in it. It is about the university. It is about the people who gave their lives for this university. And how can the guardian of Assam itself stay silent when it is about the community itself?
Okay, Ananya, please stay on with us. Dr. Pallavi, please stay on with us. We are slipping into a very, very short break. We will be back soon with the rest of our discussion. Welcome back. We go straight to Tejpur University, from where we are being joined by Assistant Professor Dr. Pallavi Jha and Ananya Devi. She is a student at the Tejpur University. Viewers, Tejpur University protests have entered the 81st day today. Still no solid action from the central government, either from the Union Education Ministry or from the UGC. Ananya and Dr. Jha, my question now, tomorrow, if you all don't hear from the center tomorrow, from the Education Ministry tomorrow, because Tuesday is the day that they have, the central team that had visited the university on Saturday had said that they will reach out to all of you by Tuesday. what are your plans going forward? Suppose you don't hear from them by tomorrow. Ananya.
The protests still continue.
Okay. Ananya, if we, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, as we have already declared that day that since the students did not receive any solid resolution from the central team, so we boycotted our exams, our academics, and our everything. All functional activities have been put on hold for until Tuesday. But then, if we do not receive further solutions or further resolve from the central ministry side, the protest shall continue. We are already in a complete shutdown. It shall continue until and unless we receive a resolve. And it is also the duty of the central ministry and UGC to look after the academics of a central university, right? So
Yes.
if we decide not to give our exams and we keep on following this shutdown, we will just be on a stalemate.
Right.
The university is in a state of shutdown. So we are hoping that they will definitely give us a resolution. But if they do not, our shutdown will continue and the students will sit on the roads protesting.
And Dr. Jha, the teachers, yes.
Adding to what Ananya said, yes, the protests will continue. But as Ananya also pointed out, that UGC and the Ministry of Education has to realize that a semester is only made up of a few months. And when we are when there are semesters which is time bound, if we lose out on even say a week or 10 days, it's a huge loss for the students. That's number one, which means the students will actually lose quite a significant amount of time before they can rejoin in the next semester. That's number one. Number two, with this complete shutdown, all kinds of research, which are again very time-bound activities, are at a stalemate right now. None of the files are moving, no papers are moving, which will push back us and Tezpur University further into despair if this goes on for any longer.
Right. Yes. We too hope of early solution to this crisis. Thank you, Dr. Jha, and thank you, Ananya, for joining. And we will come back to you again tomorrow for the latest updates. Thank you so much. Ronak, Rashmi, like Dr. Jha, उन्होंने बताया, so much at stake as far as the students are concerned. Their future is at stake. They have decided to boycott the exams, and there's utter chaos and despair in front of them.
नाराज़गी तो पहले से ही थी, प्रदर्शन कर रहे थे, लेकिन मुझे जहाँ तक लगता है जब सेंट्रल टीम आई और कोई ठोस एश्योरेंस उन्हें नहीं मिला और कार्रवाई नहीं हुई, जबकि स्टूडेंट्स कह रहे हैं कि सबूत उनके पास है, उसके बावजूद कोई एक्शन नहीं लिया गया, तो नाराज़गी बढ़ना जाहिर सी बात थी.
And also, Unitam, the very fact that they are willing to, sacrifice sitting for their exams over this, that also drives home the point that they really feel very seriously about this. And how did this start? Just gathering from what both of our guests have just said, the tipping point definitely was the disrespect towards the iconic singer, Assam's icon Zubin Garg. But that was just the tipping point, and which shows that a very deep-rooted respect for local sentiments is very needed.
Something that we saw in the Nehu protest
case as well. It was a very similar sort of situation where there were allegations that the local sentiments were not being honored. There were allegations of disparity as far as appointments were concerned. So somewhere you have to appoint a VC who is respectful of the local sentiments of the locals. That is number one. Number two, of course, if there is no accountability, no transparency, then that will definitely give rise to that kind of a feeling that we are helpless. All the power is concentrated in one person's hands. So that sort of situation cannot be allowed to come. And number three, also what is very important is that, there has to be a sort of, token responses when such situations arise. That is not going to help the situation. There has to be some, concrete measures, some concrete assurances that come about from the center, since we're talking about a central university.
And I think, Ronak, Rashmi, I also think that, this, all these things that we are seeing whether it's Tejpur University, Nehu Shillong, or earlier the Boroland University. Is it something, something somewhere is amiss as far as the appointment selection of the VCs are concerned?
हर जगह हमने देखा है कि वीसी का ही विरोध होता है। क्यों? मनमाना ढंग, जो उनका जो एक कार्य प्रणाली है उसमें ट्रांसपेरेंसी नहीं है। वो क्या कर रहे हैं, जितना उनको अधिकार है, शक्ति, राजनीति और साथ ही शिक्षा, ये तीनों का एक जटिल मिश्रण है। जो वीसी का पोस्ट होता है वो एक तीनों का एक बहुत जटिल मिश्रण है। और जिस तरह का एक मनमाना जो रवैया वो लोग रखते हैं, और खासकर हमने नेहरू में भी देखा, यहाँ पे भी देखा, एब्सेंट रहना, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव वर्क जो होता है वो बहुत उसमें बाधा होता है। एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव वर्क जितना भी होता है, और यही वजह होती है हर जगह नाराजगी।
The reason is that the VC is seen often as the face of the entire university. He is the driving force behind the university. And when we are talking about a university of such repute as the Tezpur University, even Nehu for that matter, it goes without saying that when the VC is absent for such a prolonged time, and when there are such serious allegations being leveled against him, that is definitely going to make matters worse. And unless and until that is something that is taken into account during the selection and appointment process by the UGC, such incidents will keep on recurring.
Absolutely. We just hope that the crisis that is going on in the Tezpur University comes to an end as soon as possible, and the central government will do the needful, UGC will take the necessary steps, and students and teachers will return to their classrooms soon, because here students' future is at stake. Thank you so much for our guests. Thank you to my colleagues for joining. Thank you, viewers, for watching.